Welcome back to the Adventures of the Monad, which will look at life, the universe, and everything. My name is Kazim Kamal-ur-Rahim. In this series, I ask the question, where do we come from, who are we, and where are we going? I post one presentation a week. Please subscribe to my site and hit the bell icon for notifications of future videos. You can also leave comments and join in forum discussions on my website. In the third presentation on creation, I discussed the creator of our universe being called the Absolute. I went on to explain how the Absolute created 49 planes of matter. On these planes, all the processes within the universe occurred. I wish now to continue the exploration of the creation of the universe in greater detail. When people consider the construction of anything, they realize that it must have been made in a stepwise process. The universe is no exception to this rule. We have already discussed the concept of positive and negative existence. In our case, the universe as we know it is positive existence. The antiverse lies beyond the bounds of our universe. It exists beyond time and space, and I termed it negative existence. In Kabbalism, the metaverse is called Ein Sof. The metaverse is the sum total of all existence, both positive and negative. This is because negative existence is all-pervasive, and positive existence exists within it. In Hinduism, the equivalent term for the metaverse is Parabrahm. This is the realm of limitless potential, the God of gods. This God, negative existence, is passive and presides over primordial matter, the building blocks of the universe. When energy, which we can think of as father, and matter, which we can think of as mother, unite, an infinite number of primordial atoms designated as suns are born. These suns, known as monads, are the smallest unit of existence. They are initially unconscious. However, they are also potentially absolute. They have the power within themselves to be omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. These are the attributes of the Absolute into which they are born. The term limitless indicates that there is no beginning and no end, so it was always there. This is a concept that as a child I always used to get confused about, to the point of having nightmares. Where and when did it all begin? How can something come out of nothing? Well, in this definition of the infinite that I am suggesting to you, consider this fact. If there is no beginning and no end, then we have to accept there was always something there. To make matters even more complicated, the Kabbalah talks about a state of infinite nothingness and calls it Ein. Yet, there can be nothing outside of Ein Sof, which has no beginning or end. So Ein is not even nothing. Confused? I am. But let's just give our brain cells a rest and have a recap. We start with no-thing, Ein, as a state we simply cannot comprehend. Within no-thing lies limitless potential. This limitless potential, which is infinitely dense, yet infinitely elastic, has no beginning and no end. From this limitless potential emerges the Absolute. So what is that? The Absolute is the creator of our universe, the Ein Sof Ur. This can be thought of as infinite light. The Hindus call this force Brahman. The Absolute, our universe's God, is a perfected monad, liberated from within the illusions of any universe. The perfected monad is a grown-up, unmanifested God that can make its own universe, spanning negative and positive existence. Sounds like an impressive dude. Monotheists talk about there only being one supreme creator, and in one respect they are right. They go on to then state that this creator not only creates everything and knows everything, but somehow has time left over to be very inquisitive about your sins that you happen to be committing. What is being proposed here is something completely different. The Absolute may create the universe, but is not of it or within it. Other unperfected monads, who nevertheless have the ability to direct matter themselves, use the energy provided by the Absolute. They use this energy from the metaverse to create an environment within which all other monads go through the process of consciousness expansion. In this way, those monads attain their own goal, which is perfection. The Absolute can focus its attention inwards towards the universe itself, or outwards towards the metaverse. The inward focusing of the Absolute's attention is called in Gnosticism the mind of God. What is being said here has mind-blowing implications. Excuse the pun. When we think of subjective reality, we are imagining something is in our mind. It is not out there to touch, see, or smell. If our universe is in fact the mind of God, then we are part of the Absolute's thought processes. Esoteric says there is only one consciousness. I used to get confused about this. I can see now that if reality lies outside positive creation, we may be real to ourselves, but we are also contained within the subjective mind of the Absolute. This universe is created from a focused thought pattern. I think I may need to go and lie down for a little while. Let's now look and consider the Absolute in greater detail. There are three aspects to the Absolute. The first is energy. This energy comes from the metaverse. This is a sea of limitless potential, and it is this energy that powers all of creation. The second aspect, consciousness, is the universal mind, uniting all of creation. This lies within the collective consciousness of the Absolute, who is in a meditative state of contemplation. When that focused attention ceases, all of positive existence dissolves back into negative existence. If you ever wanted a reason to never lose attention and keep focusing on something important, then this is it. The last aspect of the Absolute is matter. There are 49 grades of virgin matter that go to make up the various planes of the universe. This is the cosmic womb within which the evolving monads develop their consciousness. Let us look at the Absolute from a standpoint relating to energy. The metaverse is a source of this infinite energy. How can it be infinite? Well, if the metaverse has no beginning or end, and it has energy within it, then that energy must be infinite. So the Absolute is manifesting three aspects of itself into the universe. The first, energy, comes from a limitless external source that lies beyond the universe. It can also be said that the universe actually lies within the metaverse. From our perspective, there are two states of being, positive and negative. It is from within this negative state that this energy arises. The Absolute uses this energy to bring primordial atoms into positive existence. This comes from primordial matter, which is in negative existence. What is the difference between primordial matter and primordial atoms? The former, if you remember, is infinitely dense and elastic. The latter, the primordial atoms, are now discrete units of matter. They will never touch another atom as long as they inhabit positive existence. These primordial atoms are monads, the smallest unit of existence in the universe. So, how does the birth of a primordial atom take place? From negative existence to positive existence. Imagine that tiny vortices form in the infinitely dense, fluid and homogeneous primordial matter. This causes a unit of primordial matter to flip inside out. This then creates a spinning bubble of emptiness. That emptiness is a relative state to the antiverse. However, to us, that primordial atom is now our manifest universe. The image presented here is a limited attempt to show this. Imagine the blue substrate is the metaverse. The positive universe inverts itself out of that substrate. In reality, the blue substrate, the metaverse, completely surrounds the universe. Notice that there is also multiple universes. Let us give this primary atom a designation and call it a one atom. Not only does it initially exist on the highest, the first plane in the universe, but it is the smallest unit of matter found anywhere. Think of this one atom as a quantum of energy that distributes what scientists call zero-point energy throughout all the 49 planes of the universe. The Greek philosopher Plato called this unit of energy Dynamis, and in Sanskrit it is called Fohat. Intergalactic space is composed of these one atoms continually manifesting from the metaverse into the universe. This conscious input of energy stops the universe from vanishing. The flood of these one atoms entering into positive existence is what forces galaxies apart. We have talked about there being 49 planes of matter. What makes these planes unique to each other is the matter they are composed of. The highest plane is composed of one atoms. The plane directly below this is composed of a composite of 49 one atoms. They combine to form a two atom. The next plane below this then is composed of 49 of these two atoms. They coalesce to form a three atom. Each plane is denser than the one above. However, the term above is misleading. All planes interpenetrate all other planes. It is their atomic structure and the rate of vibration that keeps them apart. This process over eons of time leads finally to the lowest plane of cosmic matter coming into existence. Here again, 48 atoms combine to form the 49 atom. If you do the maths, each 49 atom contains an awful lot of one atoms that go to make it up. To be precise, it is a 1, in fact it's a 1.34, with 87 zeros after it. That is an inconceivably large number. There are two things I want you to notice here. Firstly, Everything that exists within the universe is made up of one atoms. This is the basic building block of everything that manifests. Notice also that when the next lower level is constructed, it is always made from a multiple of 49 atoms. This is 7 times 7. Everything in our universe seems to revolve around a multiple of this number. This is something we will meet again and again in these presentations. What happened next? Hierarchies of advanced monads, who enter into this universe along with primary matter, begin to create galaxies, stars, planets, and life forms. They do this in much the same way as the Absolute created the universe in the first place. They achieve this by combining primary matter into more complex structures at lower vibrational rates. You may well ask, where did these advanced levels of consciousness suddenly appear from? Imagine a previous universe completing its cycle of evolution. When that ends, there will be a myriad of monads on all 49 planes of consciousness. They go into a state of suspended animation called pralaya. They are awaiting the birth of a new universe. They will then continue their journey towards achieving omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscience in the universe. All manifest matter dissolves back into one atoms. These then go back into the metaverse to begin again at a later date. This is a complex process and it will be developed further. For the present, consider 49 planes of matter/consciousness as a place where less developed monads get the opportunity to train and gain experience. They are developing their consciousness further. To recap, the Absolute utilizes zero-point energy to bring primordial matter from the negative existence, which is in the metaverse, into positive existence. It is now called primary matter. This is the one atom, the monad. The Absolute conceives the universe in its mind, and subtle matter instantly responds to this creative thought. You now have the building blocks of a cosmos beginning to manifest into the universe. I wish to return to a diagram I presented in the previous presentation. I started by listing all 49 planes of matter on the left. You can see in this diagram. This is 7 times 7, that is the repeating pattern that I have spoken of. At the bottom of the series of numbers, I have highlighted levels 43 to 49 in blue. This is the last set of 7 planes known as the cosmic physical plane. These planes also correspond to planes of existence in our solar system. I expand this plane out into the next column, and you see a pattern of 7 planes more clearly. Each one of these planes is given a name. These names correspond to the names given to the cosmic planes of matter. The column next on the right are the 7 planes of the solar system expanded to reveal yet another layer of complexity. Each of the 7 solar systemic planes has 7 subplanes. The last column on the right shows the names of the 3 lowest planes. But you see an extra 2 names. This is because the physical and the mental plane are subdivided. In the case of the physical plane, the upper 4 levels, 49.4 to 49.1, are called the etheric plane. This subdivision has significance beyond the fact that we can't see it, even though it is considered physical. The etheric planes of our physical body are considered as being part of the principal bodies of us as human monads. The lowest 3 planes, 49.5 to 49.7, are just a physical organism. They are a virtual reality suit that we clothe ourselves in order to experience life in the lowest three planes of matter. I will be explaining the relationship between these bodies in greater detail in later presentations. For the time being, just be aware that there is a division of the physical plane, yet both halves of this plane are still considered physical. Plane 49.7 is physical matter. Plane 49.6 is liquid, and plane 49.5 is gas. Plane 49.4 is known to science as plasma, but it is much more than that. I don't want to go into explanations of the three highest etheric planes at the moment. The mental plane is also divided into two portions. One is called the mental plane, the other the causal. Again, a more detailed description of these planes is to follow. For the time being, just catalogue that the three lowest planes of matter have 5 subdivisions. In our evolution as monads that have reached the 4th kingdom of nature, you can see that we are only conscious of the 3 lowest planes of matter. In fact, for most of humanity, they barely function beyond the lowest 2, the emotional and the physical. In presentation 5, I wish to look at how the processes of creation were described in the Bible. We will look at how this relates into esoteric models presented here. If you wish to read a transcript of the presentation or leave a comment, links to my website are in the description box below. Thank you very much.